So I do kind of want to push forward here, but I do have a quick question. Since we all seem to be Assassin's Creed fans, what is the worst Assassin's Creed game made thus far?
The one that broke me.
The one that broke you.
The one that I was the most excited for, because I actually genuinely love American Revolutionary history.
Oh boy.
I love it. Like, genuinely love that. Assassin's Creed 3. It broke me, wrecked me. I was like, this is the worst. I had words, okay? There were words, emotions, anger. I even got do you guys remember when you could get the aluminum case and everything, the special edition case and like the t-shirt and everything? Like, I got it all. And that game just absolutely devastated.
One of the most forgettable protagonists in the franchise thus far. I agree.
The worst.
How about you, Artogm? What's yours? What's your least favorite? What do you think's the worst Assassin's Creed?
All right, I'm gonna start by going. It's like, do you hear the people singing the song of anger, man? It is a song. You know which one I'm going? It was Assassin's Creed, the one about, was it Union or whichever? Which one was that?
Unity.
So I love history, American history, European history, and I was so excited because I went like this. I could not wait to play that game because it's Europe, it's during the revolution, and it's to the barricades. Like it felt I wanted to love that game so much.
The French Revolution.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
And then I start the game, and then the bugs start happening, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, okay, I get it. Whatever, it's a game. I couldn't even finish. I was just so.
I have recorded bugs from that game when we played it. Halotitan and myself and Enrico, where I would try to pick Enrico up, and I would pick him up, and he'd fall right back down, and I'd pick him up, and he'd fall right back down. There were bugs like crazy in that game.
It was just I was just so it was just so disappointing, and I think that's the game that made me. You know what?
The concept that we could run around and actually be assassins together was like really awesome.
A quick point I want to touch on that game is that game was actually a really good game, minus the bugs.
Yeah.
Oh, you made it to the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have 1,000 gamer score on that. I did everything.
100% of that one. I did too.
Of course, being a backlog gamer, I didn't play it until years later. So I imagine a lot of what the early bugs that they were experiencing that were.
You probably got a lot more bugs than we did.
Yeah. There were still plenty of bugs, but nothing game breaking. Nothing so bad that I was like, I can't play this anymore.
It wasn't even that. It's just at the store. It's just like, oh man. And I think at that point I was just. I was so disappointed. I just didn't care about the protagonist. I didn't care about anything. I just went, this was a layup, and they should have known that this was something that. How do you mess this up so bad? Like, I mean, like you have to try hard to screw up this badly. There are books, there are movies, Les Miserables exist. Like,
right.
I could go on and. That would give your viewers a much better idea of who I am. And
well, we definitely, after today's episode, would love to have you back for sure. I want to kind of piggyback off of yours because it's not Unity for me. I do agree that Assassin's Creed 3 is pretty bad. And primarily for me was the protagonist, who was just so forgettable. You guys had great examples, but to piggyback off of Artogm's here is... a game that released, the Assassin's Creed game that released the exact same day as Unity is the worst in my opinion. Because you remember Unity came out on next gen consoles. Right, they also released a last gen PS3 and Xbox 360 Assassin's Creed game called Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
That game was so horrible. I can't even. To me that was the worst Assassin's Creed game. And the fact that they just reused maps from Assassin's Creed 3, and they reused maps from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and just shoved them all into this game, and the character was, repugnant. Nobody liked them. It was bad. That one's the worst for me. But I'm sure we could go on for hours and hours and hours about Assassin's Creed. I was just curious. It's interesting. They have so many games out, and all three of us have 3 different Assassin's Creed titles that we think is the worst.
Ones that broke us.
So things that broke us. So unfortunately, after that, Syndicate came out, wasn't terrible, and then of course I still haven't played the newer ones yet, but I hear they're fantastic.
Yeah, they've been.
But hopping into our next topic.